Dear friends, we continue our discussion of grammatical concepts. Last class we saw form class, and we know that form class refers to sets of words which have one or more grammatical or syntactic characteristics. And based on the grammatic and syntactic characteristics, we have four types of form class. They are nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. In fact, we know that a noun is a word used as the name of a person, place, thing, or idea. Everybody knows that these are all very basic principles and concepts and ideas we learn from the lower school onwards. And we know that there are different types of nouns. In fact, in grammar, we see that there are four types of nouns, and we have the proper nouns. Proper nouns we know are the names of words that denote names of persons, places, rivers, mountains, etc. So we have names of countries like India, Australia, Canada. Similarly, we have rivers like the Thames, the Ganges. Similarly, we have, of course, mountains like the Alps, the Himalayas. So we have proper nouns, abstract nouns, collective nouns, and common nouns. So these are the four types of nouns. So we are discussing form class, and form class are, of course, sets of words which have certain grammatic and syntactic functions. They can just discharge certain function in language. They sometimes function as the noun, sometimes they function as the verb, sometimes they function as the adverb, sometimes they function as the adjective. So grammatic and syntactic functions, grammatic and syntactic functions, functioning as the subject, functioning as the verb, functioning as the object. Everybody knows that, and we know that there are form classes, and they are four in number, like nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. So we know nouns, and we know the four types of nouns: the proper nouns, the abstract nouns, the collective nouns, and the common nouns. So abstract nouns we know refers to, of course, things, or not in fact things. They are abstract, and you cannot just touch it, you cannot just feel it, you cannot just weigh it. Something like love, something like kindness, something like mercy. So they are abstract nouns. Collective noun, as it goes, are nouns that refers to collection or a group. And we have team, staff, pride, a pride of lion, a school of whales. Likewise, we have words that refer to group of nouns, which are collective nouns. And like we have, of course, the fourth type of nouns, which is known as common nouns, words that refer to, of course, very, very familiar objects like table, man, animal, cow, chair, likewise. And now that we have discussed the first form class, we move on to the discussion of the second form class, that is, of course, verbs. Former session, I just mentioned, of course, verbs, and I defined verbs. Once again, I repeat, verbs are words that show the time of action or the time of a state of being. We say Kozhikode is a small town. That is, of course, the status of Kozhikode. Rather, you can say Chennai is a big city. Now, of course, we have verbs that show the time of action, and you would say, Alex wrote a short story yesterday. He played football. All these two examples we have action, and we understand that verbs are words that show time of action. And we have classification again in this particular set of words, that is, of course, verbs. Verbs are again divided into many groups, like the regular verb. Regular verbs are verbs that take the past tense form and the past participle form with the help of ed. like wanted, jumped, drop, regular verbs. Irregular verbs. What are irregular verbs? They are verbs that take the past tense form and the past participle form with some other, sometimes vowel change, like give, gave, given, write, wrote, written. So regular verbs, irregular verbs, then lexical verbs. Lexical verbs are also known as content verbs. Lexical verbs, like verbs which are showing action, verbs, verbs which show some kind of movement. Rather, people call these verbs, lexical verbs, main verbs, like Raju paints a portrait. Raju paints a portrait. Sheila drives the car. In all this, you have what is called lexical verb. Paints, drives. And now we have another set of verbs which are known as auxiliary verbs. Auxiliary verbs. And that is again another group of verbs which are of course uh, auxiliary verbs, and they are helping verbs. These auxiliary verbs help main verbs to take different syntactic structures. Like you have if you want to indicate the progression of an action, you will show in the present the ing, and you would say I am writing a letter. I am writing a letter. So that ing, that progression, continuity is showed with the help of the am, and am is an auxiliary verb. Similarly, he is writing a novel. He is writing a novel. That ing form, which shows the present progress, rather the present continuous tense, in order to have such a structure, we depend on the auxiliary verbs. Then we have transitive verbs and intransitive verbs. Transitive verbs are verbs which have objects, like he kicked the ball. He kicked the ball. Okay. Similarly, the cat caught the rat. The cat caught the rat. So the verb, like he kicked the ball. He kicked what? The ball. The cat caught the rat. What did the cat catch? The rat. So transitive verbs are verbs which take objects. And we have intransitive verbs. Say for example, the verbs will not take any object. Say for yeah, we can say the ball is rolling. The ball is rolling. All right, it's just rolling, but we don't have. But when you say Raju is rolling the ball, it is a transitive. Same verb is used as. So we have to understand same verb can be used as a transitive and intransitive. But we have two types of verbs, right? That is transitive verbs and intransitive verbs. Now we come to, of course, the last category in the group of verbs, that is of phrasal verbs. Remember, we have, of course, certain expressions in which we see one verb accompanied by another preposition like particle, and it goes together hand in hand. You cannot just separate them. And you would say he gave in, turn on the switch, give up, he gave up. Gave up means abandon. Give away means to distribute. So such type of verbs which take certain particles, preposition like elements, linguistic elements with them, which go together, are known as phrasal verbs. Okay, now we have to move forward to the next group of form class, and that is of course adjectives. And we know the definition of adjectives. Adjectives are words that modify nouns. Very easy to understand. Adjectives are words that modify nouns. We say he's a brave boy. He's a brave boy, and brave is an adjective. And we have many kinds of adjectives. Say we have 5 kinds of adjectives. Adjectives of quality, like this is a good novel. quality, good novel. Then we have proper adjectives like the Indian Army, the American singer, Indian Army, proper. American singer, American proper. We have demonstrative adjectives like this boy is the champion. This boy is the champion. That girl was very famous in America. Okay, so such type of adjectives are known as demonstrative adjectives. Then we have numerical adjectives, adjectives that refers to that is of course right, modifying, of course rather indicating certain numbers. 20 girls attended the function. He got the first rank. So 20 girls, first rank, second rank. So such expressions we have the adjectives of numeral adjectives. And now we come to the fifth type of adjective, that is quantitative adjective. Quantitative adjectives are adjectives that show the quantity. Okay, like some people came, few men came, a few men came. All these are adjectives which indicate quantity. So we have the third form plus adjective, first form plus noun, second form plus verb, third form plus adjective. And there are 5 types of adjectives of quality, proper adjectives, demonstrative adjectives, numeral adjectives, and quantitative adjectives. Now we have to come to the fourth type of form plus, and that is adverbs. We have to understand the fourth type of form plus, and they are adverbs. We have to define the adverb first. What are adverbs? An adverb is a word which is used to add something to the meaning of a verb. Adverbs are words that adds meaning to a verb on one side. Sometimes adverbs add meanings to adjectives. So it can add meaning to verbs, it can add meaning to adjectives, it can add meaning to other adverbs. Say for example, look at this example. He wrote carefully. Wrote, how did he write? He wrote carefully. He wrote carefully. It is in fact an adverb modifying a word. Now look at another example. This flower is very beautiful. This flower is very beautiful. This flower is very beautiful. So beautiful is an adjective, and the beauty of the flower is just modified by very, and very is an adverb that is just modifying an adjective. So adverbs are used to modify adverbs. Now we have another example. She sang the song very beautifully. She sang the song very beautifully. She sang the song very beautifully. Okay, so here you have one adverb just modifying another adverb. How did she sing? She sang the song very beautifully. Beautifully. She sang the song beautifully. How beautifully? Very beautifully. Such type of the use of the adverb is, of course, example for adverbs modifying adverbs. And now, of course, with this we can just come to the end of this session on form class. We know that form class refers to certain groups of words which discharge or function certain grammatical purposes, which have certain grammatical, based on certain grammatical functions and features and syntactic functions and features. We classify words into groups like form class, and based on the peculiar function, words could be nouns, words could be verbs, word could be adjectives, words could be adverbs. So these, under these, of course, we have subdivisions, and we have to keep in mind these words, and with that we can just end this particular notion. So please remember the definition of form class, and of course the different types of form class words. Thank you very much.